welcome to Jobber Bros. It's your boy Johnny Root here with Donnie Smokes. We're here for episode 6. I can't believe we're at episode 6 already, man.
Yeah.
Just yesterday, this little baby of an idea came to fruition in our brains. How you doing today, brother?
I'm good, homie. I'm good. How you doing today?
I'm good. Good that I have my beer in my hand now. That's for damn sure.
Me too.
Cheers, motherfucker.
And cheers. I'm adventuring with the Modelo. It's good shit.
Fuck yeah, it is. But yeah, we are here today to go over what went down, what transpired at Extreme Rules 2022. Have to say, it was a pretty damn good pay-per-view. And you know, if you're listening to this podcast, we are pretty big AEW stans. We're AEW marks. We love the show. Things have been a little rocky over there lately. And so we've been keeping more eyes on WWE again ever since Triple H took the helm. And yeah, the show didn't disappoint, I have to say.
Yeah, it didn't disappoint at all. I mean, the past, year and a half, we've really only watched the pay-per-views, and obviously, we've kept our eye on Raw and SmackDown just so we were kind of in the loop as to what was going on, but the pay-per-views were always, kind of short and disappointing, and I felt this one was a decent amount of time and very captivating, so to speak. So it was nice to see kind of like some of the old WWE introduced and injected back into what it is today, and it felt nice.
Yes, it did. It was a great show. Crazy debut. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched, which you must live under a rock if you didn't. But the Fiend, well, not really the Fiend, but Bray Wyatt is back, baby. And, happy as fuck to see him. He's one of our favorite wrestlers in present time. Such a good creative mind, such a great performer. And yeah, we're really looking forward to seeing what he does next.
Yeah, I've really been waiting for his return. Didn't really care where it happened. I would love to see him on AEW, but I think maybe it might have been a couple weeks after he got released from WWE. We were kind of really talking about it and said, AEW is like true professional wrestling. I don't think it really, you brought up the point that it doesn't really suit somebody like Bray Wyatt, who has that much wild imagination and creativity. Like some of that stuff's just not for AEW. It really is for the entertainment aspect of wrestling, which is what WWE has prided themselves on in this day and age, as they are sports entertainment with some real decent professional wrestling involved.
Right. AEW is borderline that idea of like the supernatural, if you will, with Matt Hardy debuting way back when with his his deletion persona. You remember how he debuted when it was during COVID, and he was just they had the jump cuts in the crowd of him like teleporting down to the ring.
Yeah.
But Tony Khan flat out said he wasn't fucking with that. He didn't really vibe with the supernatural. But they still have Abaddon. They have Malachi Black, who's on break, which kind of grazes over that borderline of the supernatural and the wacky and mysterious. But I feel like Bray Wyatt, like you said, is too fucking over the top when it comes to that. In a good way, but not for that product.
Absolutely. And I think I like Bray Wyatt because I'm a massive Undertaker fan. Always have been, always will be. And that is borderline. I mean, like, the Undertaker had mystical powers. Like, I do enjoy things like that, which is why when I find that one wrestler, I kind of cling to it and hope they never leave that promotion. But like Malachi Black, I see that more as like in AEW, I see that more as like a cult kind of thing, like brainwashing cult, which is cool, which I like that type of thought process as well. But yeah, Bray Wyatt's returned, and I am stoked about all of it.
Yeah, he didn't show up on Raw last night, but here's to hope he's going to be on SmackDown. Um, so that'll be dope. I'm looking forward to it. And, Raw was pretty good last night. I tuned in and it had its moments, but in the grand scheme of things, it was some cool returns with the OC coming back. And
Yeah,
yeah, I wasn't disappointed.
I saw that. I'm glad the OC's back because I really love Gallows and Anderson as wrestlers. I know we've seen them pop up on Ring of Honor and well, mostly New Japan, and they were during their break from WWE and AEW or Impact. They were on everything pretty much. And now they're back with their boy AJ Styles, which I like AJ Styles as well, and so it was good. I watched about half of Raw today because I was lazy and tired last night. So, but yeah, it kind of kept up on it. It was from what I've watched, it was a really really good show to watch. So, was very very impressed. Then I want to watch it because I want to see all the Degeneration X stuff that they might do. So I didn't really see any of that
It was funny
yet.
because when they came out, they let the crowd chant for a second, like Billy Gunn, or was it Road Dogs, or I'm drawing a blank here. The
You
tag
got
team of him.
Road. I don't remember what their tag team name was called. No.
Well, and nonetheless, they they the crowd they wanted them to say Billy Gunn. So Road Dog held it up and held up the mic to the crowd. They said Billy Gunn, and Corey Graves on the fucking commentary is like, I think that guy's off somewhere messing around with office supplies
Yeah.
for the scissoring. Get it?
Yeah. I get it. Yeah, that's funny. Oh wow. Which and it is slightly upsetting. I don't. Who knows if they really invited Billy Gunn to come or not? I don't think we're ever going to know
Probably
if they
not.
invited him, but they should have because he was a big part. And I think that's like I don't know if WWE is ready to break down those walls yet between the promotions. So
Yeah, well, I think they were, and then I guess they started trying to get an undisclosed name or names. They were trying to get them to breach their
yeah,
contracts, and that really pissed off Tony Khan and management. So I feel like it might be a while till we see any doors being
uh,
broken down between the two.
unfortunately, but yeah. So let's get into Extreme Rules.
8 minutes later.
Our yeah, our picks, how we did, and what we thought about them. So let's
Spoiler
kick
alert.
it off.
And still, your pay-per-view
Yes,
picks champion, bitches.
yes.
Donnie Room, let's go.
Yes, I need to mail you the belt, which will be done very soon.
Appreciate
Um,
it.
so first match of the night, which is probably my favorite match of the night. The 6-man tag match. It was a good old fashioned Donnie Brook match. He had the Brawling Brutes, which was Sheamus, Ridge Hollins, and Butch versus Imperium, which was Gunther, Giovanni, and Ludwig Kaiser. Right? Don't ask me to pronounce last names. I'm
You
not
got
doing that.
it.
Yeah. So brawling brutes won the match, which is who I chose and who you chose, which is really good. And I did on the preview. I said Gunther's gonna eat the pin from Sheamus, and unfortunately, that didn't happen.
It was never going to happen.
It
You're
needed to
delusional.
happen. I know.
I'm just
It's
kidding.
fine.
But you did get the point for Sheamus getting the pin, so that's good.
Yeah, so that match was, I mean, nonetheless, no other word describes it but brutal.
Yeah, was crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy brawling inside outside the ring. I love this. I love that they're, and like you touched on, I think on the last episode, they need to introduce trios championships and they need to do it soon. It's not copying AEW. It's just the right thing to do. They're starting to develop these crazy factions, and I like how Triple H is doing it because he's doing it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, because it was just a banger. Like it was such a phenomenal match. The hard hitting, the action all over the goddamn place was so
Yeah.
good. Um,
The shillelaghs being introduced back into WWE is a fun thing. Is a fun thing too. They had like 4 or 5 of them set up around the ring, and they were just hitting each other with them. They had a bar set up, the wooden whiskey barrels. It was just everywhere, all over the place. And obviously, we've seen Sheamus and Gunther go at it. We know how hard they hit, and it was ridiculous. I wouldn't ever want to get hit by one of them, ever.
no, fuck no. And but no, it was an amazing match. All in all, ultimately, Sheamus got the pin on Giovanni. Got the 1, 2, 3. And yeah, both teams came out looking amazing. It was a phenomenal match to start off, and that's what they are good at doing. Both promotions, AEW and WWE, they're good at putting a fire first match to really hype up the crowd and get things going. And this certainly delivered in the best way possible. Um,
Yeah.
so, despite that amazing match, we have to move on to
Mm.
pretty devastating title loss here. Again, spoilers. SmackDown Women's Championship Extreme Rules Edition. Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey. Liv unfortunately lost her title, and she was cracking up, almost pissing herself laughing as it happened. So many online speculate that she may be moving towards the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Their whole faction, Firefly Funhouse, might be Abby the Witch. Who knows? It's too early to tell. But the maniacal laughing and craziness is not usually how she acts when she loses. And we've seen in previous matches, big title matches or just anything in general. She's usually crying, upset, just not a happy camper after the match. But this is a totally different Liv. But kind of jumping towards the end. But what are your thoughts on the match in general here?
The match in general was good. I mean, we've seen Liv Morgan progress as a wrestler and giving promos and everything for the past couple of years now, and get a lot better. And she's had the spotlight for the past little while. I don't even know how long it's been since she won the title. Um, and it was really good to see her perform in that at that high of a level with another high performance wrestler. Now, I am not very happy about the outcome of the match because I prefer Liv Morgan to be the champion over Ronda Rousey, because Ronda Rousey being the champion just feels like the same old shit to me. We've been really good. WWE's been really good at doing things differently ever since Triple H took the helm. But there are still those moments where I was like, ugh, just the same old shit. It kind of bores me. But you're still
She beat her
interested to
once.
see where it goes. Huh?
She beat her once,
No,
and she beat
I
her buddy
know.
Shayna. She's not gonna beat Ronda Rousey twice in a row.
Which I get. She should have, but no. I get that. I'm just saying it's like the same person is champion again. Why couldn't they beat Ronda Rousey for the second time in a row? Push Ronda to the back of the line and have that be a whole story build. Have her. I would have rather seen Ronda Rousey take the championship from Liv Morgan, at WrestleMania after winning the Royal Rumble. Like, I think building a underdog story from somebody who was on top, got knocked to the bottom, and have a big build like that. That's where my brain goes. That's the things that I like. But
I would have wished they fucking put the belt on Shayna back at Clash of the Castle. That's what I really was hoping for. because that's a name that hasn't held it yet. Yeah, she's held the tag team titles, but she hasn't held the
Right.
Raw or SmackDown Women's Championship yet. She was an NXT champion. I think she was like undefeated for the longest fucking time, and they bring her up to the main roster and she's dog shit. Like, I don't understand
Yeah.
what they're thinking with Shayna. She's probably one of my, like, in my top 3 favorite in WWE as far as women's wrestlers. She's just a fucking beast. But
And I can
none,
see them turning that into a storyline because Shayna and Ronda are friends, and I can see
right.
some animosity building. You know, like, oh my god, I lost to Liv, you got the title. We're friends. I want a title match. Well, just because we're friends, you're not going to get one. You know, it's like I can see a storyline like that building, but nonetheless, no matter the outcome, it was still a really good match. Kendo sticks, chairs, everything involved. It was an Extreme Rules match.
Yeah, Liv put up a great fight. Unfortunately, her title reign has come to an end, and I'm excited where she goes next. Like I said when this segment first started, I really think she might be involved with the Bray Wyatt
That could be interesting.
mystery situation here. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
So, well, on to our next match of the night, which was another banger. Was the strap match of Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Cross. And I had predicting Karrion to win. You had predicted Karrion to win. And we got it right by pinfall. There was a little shenaniganery in there. I mean, there is
fucking
no
pepper spray,
there is no disqualification in a strap
pepper
match,
spray.
but when you can't see, you can't win, I guess, is the theory they were going with. So yeah, I mean, we're just jumping to the very end of the match. What's her face pepper sprayed Drew, and then Karrion Cross got was it a surprise roll up? I don't remember.
I don't know. I think I stopped looking at the screen during the when after the pepper spray. Honestly, all I
But
know is that
yeah,
Karrion won.
yeah, he pinned him. But the meat of the match itself was good. There wasn't a lot of interference during the real meat. You know, the middle when they're in the thick of the match. It was just strap being whipped at backs. And let's not forget that Karrion didn't want to put the strap on in the very beginning. He wanted to try to batter Drew before he even put the strap on, beat him with the strap, and that didn't work out in his favor in the very beginning.
Nope. But it was a great match all in all. A lot of heavy hits, kind of like the first match, but singles title or singles match, obviously. Um, but I thought it was great up until the pepper spray. It's like some great value version of like the fucking mist that Asuka sprays, or I just didn't like it. I thought it was stupid. Like, why is this like they're kind of borderline supernatural too? Like Karrion Cross and Scarlett, their entrance is like fucking 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes long. They come out like probably competing with the Undertaker for as long his entrance is.
I don't think
But
anybody can do an entrance that long.
no, but they're getting close.
Yeah.
Um, and to these crazy, scary, like looking very dark and evil beings to just fucking use pepper spray, like what a fucking dumb ending in my opinion. But the match was, all before that was amazing. Both wrestlers are so fucking
Yeah.
good, and I'm excited to see where it leads. I mean, Drew just lost against Roman, so what are we doing with Karrion now? Is he going to go up against Roman, or is that what we're doing on the next show, or what's going on?
No, I mean that would be. I would rather see Karrion go up against Roman rather than Paul, but yeah, that's that big money coming for Crown Jewel.
Logan Paul. I was like, you said Paul. I was like, I just had a moment there. I was like, who the
I had
fuck
a
is he
brain
talking about?
fart.
Paul
I
Heyman? Like,
no,
what did I miss?
I had a brain fart too because I forgot Logan's first name. I was like, shit, which Paul is it? I know it's Paul, but Paul.
Yeah, well, I don't think. I mean, that's just like that's the big money match in Saudi Arabia. That you need to get that Saudi money, and
Yeah.
I don't unless they fucking somehow make it only for one title. That's the only way I could see Logan winning against Roman is if it's for one title, not both. Because if it's for both, there's no fucking way they're gonna do that. This has been their champion for over 2 years. They're not gonna
Yeah.
give it to some YouTube vlogger that blew up and had a boxing match against Floyd Mayweather just for money. Like, you're out your goddamn mind. You're gonna ruin everything you built these last 2 years if you do that.
Yeah. And I don't see, I'm gonna be honest with you. I know it's not part of Extreme Rules, but I don't see Roman losing those titles for another year. And I don't want to see him lose those titles for another year. I've really come to like the head of the table tribal chief thing going on. And one more sidebar. I love Sami Zayn as the honorary Uso. I have
The
hated
best part.
Sami Zayn and the Sami Zayn character for like 3 years. He has annoyed me so much. Now I'm like, you got it, honorary Uso.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
great.
but yeah, I definitely want to see Karrion Kross and Roman Reigns at some point.
That's gonna be a heater, that's for damn sure. But
Yeesh.
anyways, to wrap things up, too long, didn't read. Pepper spray to Drew McIntyre, roll up by carrying 1, 2, 3, boom, end of the match. It's over. Number 4, Raw Women's Championship ladder match. This shit was pretty wonky. Bianca Belair versus Bayley. This was a crazy match. A lot of shenanigans. A lot of shenanigans. How do you feel
Many.
about this one?
I mean, it was a decent match. It was, to me, just kind of a standard ladder match. Nothing really stood out. There were some hits. There were some shenanigans. There was being thrown into ladders. There wasn't anything. I didn't really see too many like big spots. Like I would have like we could have done the KOD off the ladder and we didn't. We just kind of did a regular one. She climbed up the ladder, she won. Like they could have been a lot more. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they didn't want to do more or get, because I mean ladder matches are dangerous. Maybe that was their limit, and I say that with no disrespect. I just say that maybe that's what it was, and that's kind of why it kind of just flatlined for me. So it was a decent match. You got your wrestling out of it. You got your title retained, and we moved on.
Yeah, I think Bailey's been injured for a while, so that's probably why they tried to play it a little safe. But then, even then, like, why the fuck make this a ladder match? Like, make this the Extreme Rules match that can be a little safer. Like, you can kind of, it's still a crazy match, but it's a little safer than goddamn ladders. And then you could have put the Ronda and Liv Morgan in a ladder match or something crazy. I know they
Yeah.
probably had they had their vision set on the finish of Ronda winning the way she did. Um, but still, I thought, yeah, like you said, it's kind of like a dumb decision, especially when Bailey is just coming out of injury and you have to kind of protect her. Like, it's a fucking ladder match. Like, you need both your competitors in a ladder match to be in tip top shape. Not injury prone, not re-injury prone. You need
Right.
them fucking good. And probably a little bit of a bad call. Still, the match performed well. Both performers did a great job. Um, Bianca still your champion, as I think we both said, right? On the
Yes,
picks.
we did.
Yeah.
We both did say Bianca Belair will win the match. She won, and that's why I said it was a decent match. I didn't want to go as low as good because it was better than a good match. It was a decent match. It had everything you wanted in it. It was just there wasn't many peaks and valleys and emotion to it. There was just a ladder match.
Yeah. It was like ladder
So
match, like here. Jeff
yeah,
Hardy ladder match.
yeah.
I'm not
That's
stopping. It's still
yeah,
going. I can't
yeah.
reach any further, but it would go higher.
Gonna need to cut a hole in your ceiling for that one.
Yeah, it's like they can do it. Like, I know these women are amazing wrestlers, and they can do it. It's
Yeah,
just like under the situation Bailey was under, and coming off of an injury, you could tell they were playing it safe. Like, you didn't even. I don't even think.
absolutely.
Did you know that she was coming off an injury
I
before I said it?
I don't think I knew. No, I just
No, and
no.
you still said like they were playing it safe, like before I even said
Yeah,
anything. That's how you
yeah.
know, like it. You could tell it was clearly visible to like the audience that was actually focusing in on that kind of thing that they were playing it safe. But nonetheless, I mean, better safe
Yeah,
than sorry. We want them to be safe.
absolutely.
We just think me. Well, I'm not gonna speak for you. I feel like they should have chose a different match type. They shouldn't have went with that. But overall, it was a decent match.
Yeah, and I think maybe that they gave them that match because those two competitors are really good and they're also really good at playing it safe. So I think putting those two competitors in a ladder match, especially with one that had an injury, would have was your best choice of competitors for that match because you really can't have an Extreme Rules pay per view without a, a ladder match. You know, it's not like they do the
That's true.
TLC, the tables, ladders, and chairs pay per view anymore. So they throw chairs, they throw ladders in as much as they can. So it's an extreme thing, which is fun, and they're both very safe competitors. So you couldn't have chose two better people to put in there,
Right.
especially for that match.
I would say switch it. I was going to say switch it and put them in the strap match and put Drew and Karrion in the ladder match, but they're not.
That
The
would be
Drew and
interesting.
Karrion weren't fighting for a title, so that doesn't make any
No.
fucking sense.
Yeah. But that would be interesting. I don't think we've ever seen a women's strap match. There you go. You heard it here first, everybody. Johnny Root had the idea. WWE. I hope you're fucking listening. Women's strap match, full brutality. Do it.
Yep,
Fucking, it's gotta be. Oh man, who could it be? Fucking. Oh,
Rhea
oh.
Ripley,
And this is gonna bring us into our next match.
beautiful segment.
Fucking Rhea Ripley and Beth Phoenix in a
Woo!
strap match. That would be fucking ridiculous.
That would be bonkers.
Oh
I would pay good
my
money to
dude,
see that shit.
just thinking about it gets me on giggity. Um Fuck, dude, that would be nuts. Yeah, that's what, as you said, Rhea Ripley. I was like, and leading into our next segment, yeah. So and the reason why I say that is this: the next match of the night was an I Quit match between Edge and Finn Balor, and ooh boy, did it get juicy at the end.
It got juicy, oosey.
Ooh man.
I'm gonna step away for just 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
So you lead the charge here with this one, and I will join you in a minute.
That sounds good, brother. All right, so this strap match got or strap match, I quit match. My apologies. Um, it was Finn Balor, leader of the Judgment Day, versus Edge, the former leader of the Judgment Day. And if nobody has been keeping up with what's going on, then you live under a rock. But once again, we say that. So here's the thing, there's a lot going on. Judgment Day betrayed Edge. Dominic betrayed Ray. Went to Judgment Day. There's a lot going on. Judgment Day, which consists of Damian Priest, Finn Balor, Rhea Ripley, and Dominic Mysterio, have just been picking and beating on Edge and Ray Phoenix, and they've been beaten back. And so that's how this I Quit match came to be. Um, Very excellent match. We all know who Finn Balor is. We obviously know who the rated R superstar Edge is. And we know how they wrestle, how they operate. It was brutal. I think it went outside of the ring. It went through some of the arena, if I'm not mistaken. And they beat the ever loving hell out of each other. And the purpose of an I Quit match is to make the other opponent say, I quit. Um, and that's what eventually happened. So we ended up getting to the point where I think so Judgment Day ended up coming out and kind of beating around on Edge, and obviously when Rhea Ripley gets involved, she is kind of the equalizer for the Judgment Day, especially when she gets involved in wrestling matches that only consist of male, because the other opponent, like Edge, can't do anything when Rhea Ripley's involved. So obviously, who comes out to help Edge? None other than Beth Phoenix, his wife, the Glamazon, and that's where the juiciness gets.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
So I am. It was a dramatic pause. Um, so yeah, so that's where it starts getting juicy, where you have Edge, Beth Phoenix, kind of beating on everybody. Beth Phoenix, gets up against Rhea, so they can take the four of the guys can take care of business, and you rule out Rhea Ripley and all of that. Well, unfortunately, Rhea Ripley got the best of Beth Phoenix. Um, Pretty much almost knocked her out cold, or did knock her out cold. Set up the concerto, and that is where Edge said, "I quit." And without hesitation, what does Rhea Ripley do? Gives her the concerto. Knocks Beth
No
Phoenix
remorse.
even more out cold than she already was.
Yeah, it was a great match, though. I thought back and forth. I'm sure he did an amazing job summarizing what transpired. So I'm not going to go too deep into it, but I loved it, especially the ending, the dramatic. I
Yeah.
mean, you could tell what was going to happen before it happened, but I mean, Edge was not giving up. Then when they involved his wife, he just had to say the words. But we knew she was still going to fucking hit him with the concerto, or hit her with the
Yeah.
concerto. Like that was just inevitable.
And then I guess last night on Raw, Rhea Ripley came out with like that band that said Beth, like if somebody had died. I was like, oh, they are really just trying to rub that one in. But I can't get past the thought of Rhea Ripley and Beth Phoenix in a strap match. Like that
Yeah,
could, I mean, that's your perfect setup. Give it two more pay-per-views before you even do that. Build that story, because there's going to be a lot going on there. Edge being emotionally distraught, Beth Phoenix pissed that she got the ever-loving shit kicked out of her, right? By Rhea Ripley.
mm-hmm.
It's there's gonna be more involved with the Judgment Day, and there already has, with Ray and Dominic, and then Edge, Beth Phoenix, Edge, former member of Judgment Day. Like, there's got to be more.
Fucking Dominic.
WWE needs to do something fucking crazy like that. Like, do something crazy. It's okay.
Yeah. They're definitely gonna have a match, and probably next pay per view or two, like you said. But strap match, wishful thinking. Maybe we should
I know it is.
send good old Triple H an email or something. I don't know how we can get a hold of him. Listen, Jobber Bros knows what we're talking about here.
It's we definitely talk about what we would like to see, and it's not like out of this world or crazy. Some of it, maybe some of it is, but something like this is pure entertainment. Who wouldn't want to see that?
Yeah, no, I
You
totally
know,
agree.
put 50 people in a room, 49 of them would want to see that shit.
Mm-hmm.
you know, so, but yeah, I mean, overall for me, absolute excellent match. I
Yeah,
didn't, I know I didn't mention that yet, but excellent match for me.
yeah, for sure. Was a great second to last match. Right before the main event, which we'll get into now, which is inside the fight pit. We had Matt Riddle and
Mm-hmm.
Seth Rollins with special guest ref Daniel Cormier. Now, I have mixed feelings. Like, this match was great. They did a lot of crazy shit. It was a great match overall, but the cage was kind of stupid. And like that's what you were saying on the last podcast. Like you were hoping it would be an octagon. The cage was kind of stupid. The second level to the cage was only there for like a single spot in the entire match. And that was for Seth Rollins to jump off onto Riddle. Like, what is the fucking point of this whole setup? And they even remember we were talking about like, was it lights or paint on the top of the fucking cage?
Yeah,
Like they decorated it all nice and like for fucking what? Like it's so stupid. Like I can't understand it.
one
So it
spot. That's all.
yeah.
Like it would have been more interesting for them to dump and I know they make it like I get it's a lot of work. You got to take down the ring posts and well, but they could have done it. WWE with all the manpower could have swapped out a freaking octagon dumb quick.
Just something similar,
Or
something unique that we haven't seen before. Not just a miniature steel cage with a second level. Like, how lazy can you get, in my opinion?
yeah. But it was a decent match for me. I think for me personally, we've seen a lot of Riddle and Rollins where it's just kind of like, okay, yeah, they're gonna have a decent match, and it's kind of boring for me at this point. Like, okay, like up the ante, do something different. Like, there's so many things you can do with two wrestlers rather than like the like. I really thought the fight pit was going to be more interesting, and it was disappointing. The
Yeah,
wrestling, the wrestling was decent, but the ambiance and the aesthetic of the match itself just it didn't do it for me.
yeah. And what pissed me off even further was it actually bleeds into Raw last night. Like this motherfucker Seth Rollins lost against Riddle on a big pay per view, Extreme Rules, and then last night he has a fucking title match against Bobby Lashley and wins the Intercontinental title. Like motherfucker, like and someone I was tweeting like a motherfucker during all this, and this guy tweeted at me saying like, which I respect his how he views it. He was like, "Oh well, I guess some at some point Riddle had mentioned to Seth Rollins that he hasn't had a title belt in a while or something like in a long time, and something along those lines. But like that's not the right way to do it. Like I know AEW cares more about like rankings and what like they care more about that. But like this was just so out of left field for me. Like they just randomly say like, oh, Lashley versus Rollins for the Intercontinental or not. I keep saying Intercontinental U.S. Championship, the U.S. title, not
Yeah.
Intercontinental. But like it's just so random. And yeah, it's probably gonna be Riddle versus Rollins again and then Riddle's gonna win the title from Seth. Maybe after one match, maybe after two matches. Who the fuck knows? But like, I mean, these
You
guys are
don't.
so good. Give them new stories. Like the culmination should have been Extreme Rules. It should have been Riddle winning, and then Seth going on to his next chapter. And like, we don't need to continue this. And it might not continue. The guy on Twitter might be wrong, but I feel like he had a good point, and that we might see it proceed from here.
Yeah, and I mean, I tend to agree with that because that's just how, like, that's some of that, the Vince way of WWE still left over, which isn't necessarily a bad thing to have. It just for somebody like me and yourself who like enjoy multiple different storylines with different people and one person having four or five different storylines with four or five different people, it just kind of gets boring, and
Yeah,
I hate to use that word, especially when it comes to wrestling, but when you're bored, you're bored. There's no other word to use, and that was the only match of the night, not even the women's uh ladder match did I that's why I said it was a decent match, but I never said I got bored. This one just bored me.
yeah. It was just, and Daniel Cormier did a great job. Counting the
Yeah.
knockouts. His count sounded good. He did great in there. Um, but all in all, it's just like we got to stop regurgitating the same matchups and feuds. And I like long term story building, but it just fell flat for me.
Well, I mean, all in all, the most important thing at the end of the day is that we really enjoyed this pay per view.
Yep.
One of my first ones in a while that I really sat down and said I enjoyed that WWE pay per view. The second most important thing is that when we said in the beginning, our man Johnny Rude is still the pay per view pick champion. He got 11 total points. I got 8, and that's a good night.
That was a good night. Good night of good guesses. A couple swerves were thrown at us, but it was a great time. Great match. Great pay per view picks match for all of us, except for our other buddy who only got 5 points. But we won't talk about that too much.
no, no, he didn't do so hot. But yeah, man, it's really refreshing. I've probably said the same thing in 3 or 4 different ways, but it is refreshing to enjoy an entertainment filled pay per view. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. I feel like Triple H is breathing some nice life back into this, and I feel like some people online are getting a bit over their heads, saying like, "Oh, Triple H, you're killing AEW, you're destroying it. AEW is going to go out of business." Like, come on now, it's like a different
no,
product. It's like comparing the fucking produce section to the vegetables. Like, you don't. They're both healthy for you, but they are not the same thing. Like, okay, people can go back and forth, like, like Malachi and Andrade and Miro, everybody, John Moxley, even who was Dean Ambrose, came to AEW, but it's a different type of wrestling. It's not the same thing, and it never will be. It's
right.
sports entertainment with wrestling elements, and it's pro wrestling, and
There's
you have to enjoy both if you
Yeah,
can.
because just to add on to your point is there's a lot of the same thing in the world, but it each one offers something different, right? You know, if there was just one singular wrestling promotion, there would everybody would get very bored very quickly, and nobody would want to watch just that one. That's why there's multiples. When you go and you watch Impact, you get something different than AEW and WWE. When you watch AEW, you get something a little different from all the others. When you go and watch New Japan, you watch something that's totally different because they don't even have half of the same rules the regular wrestling we watch has. Like, there's multiples for different reasons. So to the people that say, everything else is going to shut down at WWE, fuck you, it's not going to happen.
No, and
It's
I'll say our
not
jobber bros. We love all wrestling. We love.
all
We
wrestling.
might talk more about AEW because that's just our preferred brand. We're not biased. We're gonna tell it how it is. If we really love something that WWE has to offer, we will say it. If we hate something WWE or AEW says, we will fucking say it. We have no
Which is what
filter.
we
It's in our
just did.
goddamn intro.
Yeah.
No filter. Raw, motherfuckers.
Yeah, which is what we just did. We just said like our past couple pay-per-views with WWE, or more than a couple, have not been, we've watched them to stay updated, haven't been that entertaining. This one was extremely
Clash was
entertaining.
pretty good. Clash of the Castle was pretty good. But
Yeah,
before
yeah.
that, I can't remember a single goddamn match on them before that. But this
Yeah.
this exceeded Clash by a long shot. But yeah,
Like,
no, you're right. 100%.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's great. It's different. It's different product. When you want good old school professional wrestling, you go watch AEW. You want something that's really entertaining, you go to WWE. And it depends on what mood you're in. Like, that's what it is. You get good wrestling and great entertainment, and then you get great professional wrestling with AEW. That's my opinion. It's your personal preference,
Yep.
and we're here to agree with you and disagree with you all at the same time. That's the
Yeah,
beauty of life.
absolutely. And the beauty of pro wrestling.
Yeah, man. So
We'd love to hear your comments. If you're watching this on YouTube, please give us a like, subscribe, and drop your comments. If you hate our fucking opinions, let us know. If you love it, if you agree with us, if you think something could be different, let us know. We are open books. We are happy to hear from our fans.
absolutely. And hey, listen, check us out. We post shorts all day long on YouTube sometimes, and check us out. We try to post on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and at Jobber Bros. And check us out. And we're also on a bunch of different podcast platforms, wherever you like to either watch or listen. If you like to watch, go to YouTube. If you like to listen, go somewhere else.
Yeah, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever it'll be up there. And if you like shorts, make sure to watch on YouTube because the same short probably won't be on TikTok for 3 to 5 days. But anyways, this has been.
We're getting there.
But anyways, thank you everybody who's been listening. We truly appreciate it. It's been a fun episode. You got any last comments,
buddy? That's ooh. I like that. Listen, like we said before, check us out on all the social media platforms. Go check us out wherever you like to listen to podcasts. Give a like, give a subscribe, turn that bell notification on. You're either gonna love us or hate us, and we don't care which one it is. Comment anyways, because I like to know when people hate me. It's fun.
Yeah, we like it.
But yeah, good old-fashioned wrestling talk.